This is the Loose Screws podcast, everybody. I'm Commander JN Trax, and it is the day before patch day, so there is lots of stuff to talk about, and I'm annoyed by some of it.
Now it's guitar music.
Did you guys like last week how I made it match up with what Data sang?
Perfect. That's why you're the professional.
Yes, you're very You're very clever.
I do my best. Anyway, joining me tonight is Commander Chig.
Hi, for those that don't know, I have been on this show for like 2.5 years. So if you're in our Discord, I'd appreciate it if you actually knew who the hell I was. I'm just saying, the lies have to stop.
Oh my God.
I knew it.
Commander
Dubs
Dubs is here. Shut up. Dubs is here.
Hi. Yes,
Hi.
that's me.
That's
I don't
Dubs.
have anything smart to say.
Commander Nurgle is also here.
Howdy.
And Teflon is also here with his voice robot.
I also have nothing nice or nothing smart to say. I can't even say that, so.
Well, so it's been a week. I've actually played some other games besides Elite because since we came off of our resounding victory in the AX trophy, I've allowed myself to play other things. So I got some other VR games on sale and played Ancient Dungeon, which is pretty rad. It's like a voxel dungeon crawler kind of. Anyway, it's like a kind of old school RPG, but everything's made out of blocks that look like they're about 3 inches across. Anyway, whatever. It's cool. And that's it. I decided to go first because it's going to be short and sweet. How's everybody's Thanksgiving? Who wants to go first?
Gobble, gobble, gobble.
That sums it up.
There it is. Did everybody get fat and sassy?
Nobody burned their house down. Our clothes still sort of fit, and the food coma is over. Carrying on.
Okay.
What are you thankful for?
Shut up.
Shit. I'm thankful I'm still above. I'm thankful I'm still above ground. I went to 2 funerals the week of Thanksgiving. So,
including your own.
Okay.
So weird.
Yeah. Oh, man, I'm sorry, Nurgle.
Yeah, it is what it is. I have unfortunately reached the stage in my life where I go to more funerals than weddings. So,
Well, that's the same thing, aren't they?
yeah, kind of.
We had no soundbite for that. Damn it. All right.
So somebody
You
was
can add one
slacking.
in, don't worry.
He can splice it in. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, does anybody want to talk about their week or anything?
Yeah, please
in-game
lighten the
game?
mood.
Game adjacent.
Yeah.
Okay. Jesus.
Well, the
Don't we
new
normally-
bug stuff was pretty freaking awesome, but we'll probably talk about that later. So I don't know.
He
what
asked
to
about
say.
your week, Chig, not the game. That's not what we're doing right now.
Oh. Well, I worked and I played video games and started watching Endor. Pretty good.
Andor, you doofus. Endor's a moon.
It's great. I don't know
Endor
all
isn't a moon. Endor's moon is a
there's-
moon.
That's true.
Not
It's the
zing.
fourth. That's true. It's the fourth.
I'm
Is it,
very
wait,
dis-
is it the
Wait,
forest
no, get
moon
this
of
right.
Endor, or is it the forest moon
Yes.
Endor?
It is the forest moon of Endor.
Of Endor.
Yeah, Endor's like Endor's
Well,
like
all
I
a
know-
big ass world.
I'm
yeah.
4 episodes in and I have not seen an Ewok yet, so I'm very disappointed, but I'll keep watching.
I am finished with the first season, and I think this is probably my favorite Star Wars show.
You say that about everything you ever watch. You like Treasure Planet.
I don't.
No, he
say
says
that
a
about
lot of
everything I
stuff
ever
is
watch.
pretty good. He doesn't say they're
Yeah.
his favorite.
And I have also seen all of season 1, and I agree with that assessment. I think it's the best Star Wars series yet.
Sweet.
And if you've ever wanted like a serious Star Wars, like this is serious Star Wars. There's no space wizards here.
Like super serious?
Yeah,
So
It's pretty
sincere.
serious. Like it takes itself very seriously.
yeah, it does.
That's probably why they got rid of the Ewoks. That makes sense.
That is exactly why there are no Ewoks in it. Yes.
I don't know, man.
I'm going to
of
ride this
Ewoks-
joke as far as I can.
Speaking of Ewoks, let me tell you, if you ever play Star Wars Battlefront 2, there is a mode where you are stormtroopers going through the dark forest on the moon of Endor, right?
And you can't hit a fucking Ewok for the life of you?
And it's all dark, but the Ewoks can see you, and man, it's just like, in the trees, they're in the trees. What was that? It's nuts. It's insane, and it is actually scary.
Wait. You're saying that in that game, the Ewoks are basically furry predators?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, they totally are. Like, that's a good way to describe it.
You're in their house now.
I love it.
It gives real credence to that Family Guy joke where it's like, wow, what does this armor even do? Why do we wear it?
It is true. They got beaten up by sticks, even though they're wearing full body armor.
They can't hit anything when they shoot.
Yeah, well,
if they
about
get
to say.
shot, they die instantly. It's mind-boggling.
If that body armor is as good as their aim, then there's no wonder they lost to the sticks.
Well, that's how they test the armor. They shoot at each other. See, it worked.
Yeah, exactly.
Could you imagine how boring the Star Wars movies would have been if they had been as competent as they were supposed to be?
Well, that's like Obi-Wan when he first sees the sandcrawler all shot up. These blaster shots are too precise to be anything other than Imperial troopers. I mean, seriously.
Well, he's just setting the bar. I mean, he's just saying like everybody else is even worse.
Yeah, well, actually,
no,
I think he was actually pointing it out because the side of the sandcrawler literally looked like the broadside of a barn, and they hit it a couple times. Yeah, so
They did hit it more than once.
It's
So it's
basically
not
a
that they're
mobile
so
barn.
good, it's that everybody else is just that bad. I mean, yeah, it pretty much is a mobile barn.
More or
the one
less.
they have the one in Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett has that crate dragon skull in the front on top of it. That looks awesome.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Spoilers.
For an old game.
Are there Ewoks in that? No, maybe.
No,
All right.
there's not.
No,
I had a good Thanksgiving. Not that anybody asked or cares.
I
We
sort of
care.
asked.
We care.
Yeah.
I
I'm not going
bought,
that far.
I bought 2 games on the Steam sale.
What'd you buy?
I bought Solasta Crown of the Magister because I heard it was a really good game similar to D&D. It was like a Dungeons and Dragons ass RPG, so I picked that up. And then I
An
saw
ass RPG.
Yeah,
you said.
Dungeons and Dragons ass.
absolutely yes. I mean, what do you think the class of bards is for? Anyway, that's beside the point. I saw this game. This looks like a smaller game on there called Star Traders Frontiers, and it looked like a fun little game. So little 2D space game. So I picked it up as well. And so after I get some more playtime with those, I'll let you know how they are.
Reviews incoming.
Well, I don't know that I'd go full-fledged review. I also bought some Stellaris DLC, so I played some Stellaris. And then I played some Crusader Kings.
Of
Did
course.
you eat the Pope
Sweet
again?
deal.
Eat
I have
the
not
Pope.
eaten the Pope again.
Eat the Pope. Damn it.
I did that already. I eat somebody else now.
Yes, but it was Thanksgiving. It was time to eat the Pope.
That's the new tradition.
It's a major
It's a
holiday.
deep-
Major holidays
I want
call for
deep-
Pope eating.
I want deep fried Pope.
You had the opportunity.
Make sure he's not.
Well, I
Make
have
sure
to
you
have
thaw
data.
him out and dry him first.
Before you drop them in that fryer.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
shit.
nobody wants an exploding Pope.
Speak for
Wait a
yourself.
second. New goal.
Yeah.
Explode the
life
Pope.
goals.
Explode the Pope.
Explode the Pope. Fry the Pope.
Wow.
There's something really wrong with us.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, well,
a little bit.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you're not new here.
Yeah. It's not news to anybody who's a regular listener. Yeah.
All right. What else? Anything else? Who else? Come on.
Okay. I played
you
the
haven't been here in a while.
entirety of a different video game for once. So I decided to try out the Steam Deck a little more, and I played through the entirety of Metro Last Light on it, and it performs beautifully. Like, that little console is actually pretty badass.
God damn it.
Oh,
Stop
man.
saying that.
I can't wait.
Chig, buy it.
My
right
wife
now.
even gave me permission to do it. She's like, no, go ahead, because then I can play. Now, Does it have to have its own separate Steam account to play different games in the
No.
same Steam library? I just want to check. I know
Why?
playing the
Why?
same
Just
game you can't do it,
Boot it,
but
just you can put it on offline mode and just play it offline, just like you can do any computer. Like,
yeah,
Chig,
but
it's a
what if
computer. It's just
It's a computer.
It's
just a computer,
that's
Chig.
Chig, it's a computer.
Sometimes Steam,
It's
kicks
a
you off the
computer,
ship.
Chig.
That's why my daughter has her
No,
own
it doesn't.
Listen,
account.
the corporation behind Steam, Valve, they are nowhere near as evil or as shitty as Nintendo is. Therefore, they let you do what you want. Things that
No,
make
that's a-
sense.
That's really a high
Most of the
bar,
time.
though. That's
I mean, yeah.
You should definitely get one right now. Don't think about it.
just
Don't
do it
let
right
these
now.
other guys talk you
We'll
out.
check,
it.
we'll check back
Do
in
it.
with you by the end of the episode and see
Yeah,
if you've
do
bought a
it.
Stream
Do it
Deck.
live on the show right now. Let's hear
Do
your credit card
it.
information and everything.
No, we don't have to listen to his card go through, but we'll check back at the end.
No, I
Shut up!
We'll
I'm
see.
trying to get it to go through on mine.
Go ahead and stream to the chat real quick. Watch it. Let us
You
watch
get
you
a
input your
Steam
credit card
Deck.
information.
You get a Steam Deck. Everyone gets a Steam Deck.
Woohoo!
Oh, and also, running games directly off the micro SD card, not really that big of a deal. Like, it just
That's-
performs. Like, not
Cool.
even like Granted, it was probably slower. Like, I'm sure if I pulled out a stopwatch and fucking timed it, like, yeah, there'd probably be a difference. But I didn't.
But
not
it's-
once was I ever like, wow, these loading times suck. Like, no,
But
it
it's
just kinda
still
works.
essentially pulling off of a solid state drive. I mean, like
Exactly.
literally is what you're doing. So
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
SD is a very low transfer rates. It's just that most games aren't that big, and it's usually not that big a deal, is it?
exactly.
No, it's not. The install time takes longer because, the write speed kind of sucks, but when you're playing the game, it don't matter. So you just set your installs up to go overnight, go to bed, and just let it do its thing.
Yeah.
And also install a
Alright.
1 terabyte SSD inside of it. Yeah, that's also another thing you could do.
Tuh.
Yeah, I
Or
thought
do
about
both.
that, but I think I'm just going to get the big one and then throw a terabyte mini
That
SD
has
in
to
it.
be the least Chig thing I've heard all week.
What?
That's
No,
not
that's
true.
that's
That's
like
what I'm gonna
a
do.
totally Chig thing is buy the most expensive and then make it more expensive.
Yeah, that's pretty cheap,
Yeah.
man.
That's pretty
very
Chig.
Chig. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you buy the most expensive one and you put a screen protector on it, there goes your anti-glare. Just buy the cheap one, buy anti-glare screen protectors. Boom.
Why?
Okay. All right.
I don't
I'm moving
understand the
on.
logic
I'm moving
there,
on
but
from
okay.
this, you guys. We're
You
gonna
asked
go on
for
with
it.
the podcast. I asked for what you did this week. I didn't ask for you to start talking about screen
Fine.
protectors and
Steam Deck.
And one thing
Yeah.
he did was
Steam.
convince Chig to buy a Steam Deck. Chig will check back with you at the end of the show to see if you've purchased it yet.
It's in
So
the
get-
cart.
Alright.
Oh, it was already in the cart. Never mind.
just returning to the cart.
Send
Okay.
me that one then.
Okay. Everybody, it's time to catch up with the Loose Screws player faction and
Woohoo!
go.
Incoming priority message. Squadron briefing.
All right, making it quick. So we are currently involved in 2 wars in Midgard and in Yemaia. Both of those are multiple offenders in terms of us continually being dragged into wars, and both of them are Antal systems we do not want to take over. We have no real pants on fire systems at the moment. We have 6 that are kind of in that second level on deck, may become a problem, including, for the first time in a long time, Ross 310. And there are currently 5
What?
Yeah, I know. Ross has woken up for some strange reason and has peaked its head over 60%. I was kind of shocked to see that too. We have, in addition to those, we have 5 systems where we are actually trying to raise our influence. The details for everything we want to lower and raise is all in the standing orders post, the sitting orders post in the Loose Screws faction of the Discord. So, if you want to come and check out the specifics, go there and check it out. If you have any questions, we can answer them in the Loose Screws discussion channels for the faction. Want to throw in the reminder to please, especially for the remainder of November, we only have a couple of days left. Please be sure when you do any of the faction-related activities in the standing orders, that you circle back around and mark that post with the appropriate emoji. Eventually, I'll learn to speak English. For what you did, because there will be a prize awarded after the end of the month. And we will not discuss the specifics of that until it is time. But there may even be more than one prize awarded. But tallies are being kept. Prizes are being arranged. And that's where we're at.
All right. Damn
We
straight.
didn't talk about CQC night last week.
Do it now.
Oh, I will go because I wasn't there for CQC night. So go ahead.
was grueling and involved
Fucking shit show.
a couple of okay matches, one really good match right at the end, which we decided to end on, and then like fully 75% of the minutes we spent playing were just being disconnected and staring at menus. It was the absolute worst it has ever been.
With 7 of us there, a match starting with 5 people in one match, 2 people in another match, instead of putting all 8 together, or 3, or no, 1 person not getting in the match, and like 4 in, 2 in. We
never got 2 consecutive matches because most, if not all, the players at the end of a match would get there's been a connection error, and it would kick you out of the lobby at the end of every match. So every single time we had to try to re-instance with each other.
Yeah, it was
such a shit show.
Oh, it was painful. And I remember I said I was going to give like 1 billion credits to whoever showed up and got the most kills. It was impossible to keep track of the most kills because we couldn't all get in the same matches together. So it was a complete mess. So Uranaborg was the only guy who showed up who didn't have a carrier already. So I bought him a fleet carrier for showing up. So remember next time I'm doing frickin' CQC night. Turn up because you may end up with a fucking fleet carrier.
Chig and myself and several other people in here are well over 30 billion credits rich right now because of the stuff we just did fighting Thargoids, and it doesn't look like the Thargoids are going away. Money is utterly meaningless to us, so if we have an event and invite you to show up, just do it, okay?
Yeah,
it's worth
it. You're liable to just get bribed for being our friends, so just show up.
They could outfit an A-rate 30 cutters.
I could actually do close to 60, thank you.
Yeah, it's like I'm just talking about my measly portion of the giant money that we collectively have.
Your peasant funds.
my peasant 33 billion in funds.
Pocket change.
Pocket change. Yeah. 60 days, people. Honestly, turn up and kill Goids with us.
I wonder how many trillionaires Elite has.
As far as I knew, there was one for sure that I've seen a verified one. There may be a couple more. Who knows?
I think I saw something posted that there were 9, but I don't know how accurate that is.
That should be your next grind, Chig.
No,
Jesus.
Fuck
you. Well, luckily, your favorite thing in the world to do is the best way to gain money.
Exactly. I went mining for like a week, and I made like 500 million credits. I'm like, what the fuck was that waste?
I was talking to some other friends who used to play this game with me before I came to this group, and I was telling them about the stuff that was going on. Because one of them actually bought me this game, and so I was thinking to him, I was like, I have this in-game trophy bobblehead because of you, because you bought me the game. So I owe my portion of this victory to you, and he was like, well, you're very welcome. And he was very appreciative of that. But I was telling him about the things that was going on, and like, because he's one of the people he's always hurt for money on here, and on Elite, because he manages to miss out on like the big gold rushes, and then I was telling him, I was like, man, if you ever, the next time you're able to get on and play, I was like, we just got to go kill some interceptors. All you got to do is tag it, and like, you're going to make millions of credits so fast. And so.
True facts.
He could literally just stop in at the end of a fucking Hydra, hit it for 5 seconds with a laser, and have more credits than he's ever had.
That's what I told him. Like, I told him how many credits in combat bonds we turned in to as a squadron to win the season, and he's as like his mind couldn't wrap his head around it. He was like, I was like, yeah, it was over 180 billion, and he was like, what?
Mentioning again, I saw Dripnificence join the Discord.
Yes.
Earlier today. He does like some pretty clever freaking newsletter kind of thing, and was asking if anybody here wanted to be interviewed or something, kind of an in-game thing. I didn't catch the whole thing because I just showed up like 5 minutes before we were recording and caught up on Discord as quickly as I could. But super cool. Those guys, that's the squadron that we were battling with for silver on the last night, and then we passed them and we passed AXI that night, and it was amazing. But they were hopping, other members of their group were hopping in our Discord as we were gaining on them that night, and now we've got some new awesome friends, and the leader of Dripnificence himself, I don't know where that name comes from, showed up.
Dripnificence himself.
The Dripnificence himself made an appearance. So, yeah, so that's kind of cool. I love that's once again, that was just like the coolest thing I've ever experienced in this game, is how we came together and we actually pulled that off, and how close it was and everything about it. Now we know this other squadron we didn't even know existed until this event, and man, it's just awesome.
Fantastic.
So,
all right. Well, that was CQC night, and then we talked about some stuff that made us happy as well. So great job, everybody. Turning it positive.
That last CQC match was really fun. It made me pretty happy.
The last match was awesome. The team.
I was a little disappointed we were stopping, but like.
Well, but you know what would have happened if we didn't. You agree? Oh yeah, right?
Better to go out on a high note.
And that's why we shut it down. It was awesome because it was a 4v3, and I don't remember. I had Teflon on my
short team.
I was on the team with 3, and Teflon was in there flying the fucking Sidewinder as a tank, just attracting attention.
Yeah. So the match starts, right, and Chig is on the disadvantaged team, so 4v3
right? Match. Yep.
And it opens up, and it's kind of a bloodbath for the first minute or so, right? And then they go full D&D party on it. Teflon pulls out a Sidewinder, which is pretty useless for killing other ships, but it takes a long time to kill, and just starts soaking damage while Chig finishes us all off. And really, I can't remember too many better CQC matches all told.
It went back and forth. You guys pulled ahead by like 3. We came back. We were up by 2. You guys got a 2 lead again. Then we got a lead again, and you guys ended up having the lead right at the end, and you guys pulled out the victory. It was super fun. That was one of the funnest matches I've ever played.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
I mean, that was my whole strategy, because I knew the Sidewinder was tanky and slow. I was like, I'll just try to fly near Chig, because he's going to shoot at anybody who's around me.
And it was like, it would take 2 of us the amount of time it would take us to die to kill you. It was rough. Anyway, I started, anyway, whatever.
It was so
great.
Much fun.
It was great. It's really hard, because I would love to say y'all should come try CQC. Well, let's wait to see what happens with this massive update we're about to get. I mean, maybe there's a lot of stuff in here we don't know. So on that, let's get to some dev news. As we talk now, the update is going to happen tomorrow, and the patch notes have not been released, but we know the downtime. So I'll just take this sort of in order of importance as far as I'm concerned, and the order of how long it's going to take to discuss. There's some new livery stuff. With Black Friday comes the midnight black paint jobs. So if you're into those, pick them up. And Stygian paint jobs came, I think, just today, right? But anyway, those are back until December 5th, and they're on a discount of 20%.
They're the best paint jobs in the game.
They're really cool. I have several of them from before. I didn't save any arcs for them this time around, but
and just to be clear, Midnight Black is not on a discount, but the others are.
Well, it's weird to say whether they're discounted or not, because they're only around for such limited time that, like, whatever sale exists, like the Stygians being 20% off, that's the only price they ever are, because they're only limited times anyway. So anyway,
just being on sale is a sale.
Yes,
right.
That's true. Yes.
So anyway, so that's happening. Okay, update 14 is coming tomorrow, November 29th. The servers are going to go down at 7 UTC, and they plan to come back on at 15 UTC. It's going to take a long ass time because it's a big ass update. 4.6 gigabytes for just the Odyssey installer. It'll be more like 4.7 or something, 4.7 and a half if you're installing Horizons as well. The Horizons update is only a couple hundred megabytes. Okay, so what's coming in it? We don't exactly know. Obviously, there's a lot of story stuff, but to be this big, I think it's got to have some more under the hood stuff. So, I'm cautiously optimistic that there'll be some bug fixes in here instead of like the last time that was all content. And supposedly they've been working on stuff under the hood for that update too, that it apparently is invisible. So I don't bloody know. But anyway, that's all going on. The other thing, and this is the part I have a headache about, legacy mode and live mode. This was announced, explained in quotes, or as FDev would say, in inverted commas, what this is. And
just for the listeners, why don't you give a brief explanation of what those is? Because the listeners may not have watched it. Obviously,
No,
we
please
all
help Teflon out.
We all obviously
it's okay.
We all did, and so
we all
know
about it.
But like they may not know. So
well, it's
why
like
don't you
in the
let them know?
pre-show.
Dubs,
Before we
pay
started
attention.
recording, I started to talk about this, and Dub started to ask me questions. I'm like, no, no, save it. Okay, so the Discovery Scanner page. No, I don't care. I already talked about that. Okay, so here is the Beyond update 14 and Beyond live and legacy modes. So what's happening is the version of the game that is Horizons 3.8, the version that console still has access to, is going to be separated. It's basically going to be cut off, and an exact copy of the entire galaxy and all players are going to be made, and they've split. It's a fork. The galaxy is forking. 3.8 Horizons will stay this way forever. And anytime you're playing in it, you're playing in the version of yourself that is in that game. So that goes for console and any PC players who turn on Horizons 3.8. 4.0, which is Odyssey and Horizons 4.0, is going to be live mode. And this is where the story is going to continue and new players will be added to this part of the galaxy or this copy of the galaxy, and they will be forever separate. Forever separate from that point on. No changes henceforth. So anything you play, any changes, any credits you earn, anything that changes to the BGS, anything that happens in 3.8 will always only stay there. So if you log on and farm materials in 3.8 and then switch back to Odyssey, you will not have those materials. All right. That should make it pretty clear, right? Yeah, basically, there's a divergence in the timelines.
So now there's going to be an Elite Dangerous multiverse.
Right, exactly. And this is the, I guess, culmination of them not wanting to carry along both code bases as they work on the story. Okay.
What phase is Elite in?
I don't see a problem with this. Like
out of phase.
Well, there's one. Go ahead.
There's one sort of problem. Okay, so along with this, and I'll get through this before we talk about the problem. Along with this, PC commanders who own Odyssey will be allowed to load up Horizons 4.0 in order, it says specifically, no, you know what? I'm going to screw this up. So here's the thing. This announcement, and I've linked the announcement in the show notes, the announcement ends in this very fun way. We hope this announcement has clearly explained our plans for both live and legacy versions of Elite Dangerous.
Ha!
Those hopes, please, whoever typed this, is this Paul? I don't know. Consider your hopes dashed, and here's why. The language is all over the place. Like, I get the main thrust of what you're saying, but anything that would be confusing is not the main thrust. It's the important little tiny details. Here's an example. Playing together live. We understand that since we granted 4.0 access to all PC players, pause there, you didn't. You granted it to all PC players who don't have Odyssey. So I guess what he's saying is the 4.0 engine, he's not saying 4.0 Horizons, because I'm not allowed to launch 4.0 Horizons unless I pull out a third-party launcher in order to play with other players. Okay, we resume the quote. Some commanders have been using version 3.8 to play with friends who do not yet own Odyssey. Okay, so they observe that people thought that they should be able to play together with other commanders. So here we go. With Update 14, Odyssey players will have the option to select either Horizons or Odyssey mode within live mode so that playing together remains possible. So right there, I am pretty sure what he means is we are being given access to, as Odyssey owners, we're being given access to both versions of 4.0, Odyssey and Horizons, so that if somebody doesn't own Odyssey, they have 4.0, we can go to 4.0 and play with them, because only 4.0 is live mode. So we have to be able to do that in order to instance together. So because they were taking away the 3.8 version that we could both sign into, now they have to give us the 4.0. Except they didn't call it by the exact names. They call it a different thing almost every time he refers to it. So it's very confusing and it is not clear. So, but apparently we're going to have that. That's my read of that. Does everybody agree, even though the language uses different words at different times?
That's
to mean the same thing?
That's what it should be. But
yeah, well, I mean, okay.
But there's no guarantee that that's what they're actually doing. And again, their language for the 5,000th time is so damn convoluted and obscure that you can't figure out what they're trying to say.
Well, but that's because they speak the weird British English. That's why.
Yeah, that's right.
It's not British English, because sometimes they say Horizons and sometimes they say 3.8. Sometimes they say Horizons and they mean 4.0. Sometimes they say 4.0 and they mean they gave it to all players. Well, if they gave it to all players, what could they possibly be talking about? Because you know what they didn't give was 4.0 Horizons. And we couldn't use that to instance with other people. We had to go to 3.8. So why did he say they gave it to all PC players? Because they specifically didn't, and that's why they're having to make this change. Yet he still says that they did it in the announcement of the change.
And even in the announcement of the change, they talked about the download sizes of the game. And if you haven't upgraded to 4.0 from 3.8 on PC, your download tomorrow is going to be bigger. So they're even saying that if you're on PC with 3.8, you could stay at 3.8, but then you're going to be in legacy mode, which is now 3.8. And it's not Horizons 3.8. Well, it's got to be Horizons 3.8.
It is Horizons. It's just that there's no need to call it that anymore.
4.0 is actually going to be Horizons 4.0. And that's, I think, where they fuck up, because they've got Horizons 4.0, Odyssey 4.0, and then they sometimes call Horizons 4.0 Horizons when they're referring to Horizons 3.8.
Yeah, there's a much easier way to go about this, guys.
What is
Just play live mode. Who cares? We're not going to be using Legacy. If you like the game that much, just
what people
use
do
live.
Oh, well,
like literally,
Dubs,
no one cares about
I'm
guild
only
stuff.
using Odyssey. This isn't about me. This is being announced to console players and to a certain extent to PC players who haven't bought Odyssey yet, because that's
players
where
already know. Like they already know that it's a dead end. Like if you're playing on console, you may as well just not worry about any current or future news that comes out about the game. Like
at the end of the day, all that they needed to say in language that gamers understand is if you're playing the old version of the game, it's maintenance mode. Everything else is moving forward. You're not a part of that. That's what they're doing.
They can't use that.
He's right.
That's
but
what
he's right. That's exactly what it is.
So the version of the game that console players could only ever access is now in maintenance mode.
Correct.
That is Legacy. 3.8 Horizons is Legacy. The trouble with just saying it simply like that is that PC players also had access to 3.8 Legacy, 3.8 Horizons, which is now Legacy.
But they're just being kind. They're not saying you're just in maintenance mode. They're saying, you're in Legacy. It's not, nothing's ever going to change, and we're not doing shit for you.
It's still not a surprise. They told us a long time ago that consoles were going bye-bye. Like they're not developing for it. They don't care.
The problem is the timing.
Okay, so no, let me answer that. Yeah, let me answer that specifically. So here's the other thing: the console the commander copy process that console commanders can use to get a free copy of Horizons, which will include Legacy and Live, blah 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 blah, is being paused because of what's happening with this update 14 and this Live Legacy business. When it comes back, it will be reintroduced in Q1 next year. When it comes back, and this is a quote, the version of the process that we introduce will not be as comprehensive as before, and it will only copy the most essential profile data related to player progression. For this reason, we strongly recommend anyone considering copying their profile to do so, which of course we on the podcast obviously recommended. There's no downsides to doing it. You really should have done it by now already, but some people haven't. And here's the thing. If those people had fleet carriers, they actually don't have time anymore from the day of this announcement. There was not time to decommission your carrier and then do the transfer and then buy a new carrier on the other side. There was no longer time. So when they specifically told us that we'll give you plenty of time before it ends, they told us this copy process was a time-limited thing, but we'll give you plenty of time before it ends. They definitely didn't give plenty of time for the people who didn't get on this already and haven't decommissioned their fleet carriers. So those things won't be able to move. They'll just be out that money in the game, which whatever, I don't care about money, but some people do. And, strictly speaking, that's not fair and that doesn't follow what they said. And
they're also going to disappear from the live mode of the game.
No, they're not. So that brings me to
That's
the next
problem. That's the problem.
Here we get to the problem of this that is like not just communication. So somebody, and I got this from a Reddit post, they have like text conversations with Sally Morgan Moore because they asked her specifically about how this change will affect fleet carriers. The long and short of it is the fleet carriers are in the galaxy that is being duplicated. So they will be duplicated because currently all the fleet carriers are cross-platform across all versions of the game, but there's a split in the universe that's going to happen. So console commanders / anyone who hasn't been able to decommission their carrier, copy their commander, and rebuy it on the other side are going to get duplicates of their carriers. Those carriers are going to stay in whichever version they can't access forever until they run out of money and get decommissioned. So guarantee there's going to be a bunch of fleet carriers here that can't be controlled anymore because that player can't access the game in such a way that they can control their carrier, possibly clogging up systems. But at the very least, they exist in both places. And they can lead to, the exact language, console commanders who own a carrier will have their carrier duplicated across Live and Legacy. However, the console carrier will only be able to interact with the Legacy copy of their carrier. It means that all console-owned carriers in the Live universe will in effect be static emplacements until they run out of funding in their onboard funds and decommission.
What if they transfer like 6 months from now and their carrier still exists in Live?
They'll have control of it.
They'll get to have control of it?
Yes.
Okay, I don't see a problem with any of this now.
I honestly, I'm still not upset about anything that's been said.
No,
I don't.
There are going to be.
Get with the modern version of the game if you like it. Otherwise, cry.
Okay, hate mail, Discord.
So it's not like this is game breaking, but for anybody who didn't jump on it for some reason, which was the wrong move, but some people always do the wrong move. For anyone who didn't jump on it, decommission their carrier and copy already, you don't have time anymore, so you're sunk. And that they definitely, made it very clear that they were going to give us enough time, and they didn't.
But those people are going.
This announcement of Live and Legacy needed to happen.
Think about
with
this
enough
though.
time.
The reason you would decommission before was that you'd have credits to buy the fleet carrier when you transferred over, right? So
yeah, because the carrier can't transfer.
If the fleet carrier's waiting for you in the new version, you're fine. You don't need a decommission.
No, because you're going to get a new commander. The fleet carrier isn't going to be waiting for you. The reason fleet carriers couldn't copy because there was no way to associate the same carrier with a new commander.
Okay, that's just lazy.
So
They could
you
just
won't,
submit a
you
trouble
won't have
ticket.
it waiting for you. They won't
If-
be able
if-
to do it. I guarantee
They
they
could-
will not be able to reassociate your fleet carrier with the new.
Maybe they can't
thing.
reassociate, but if you plead your case well enough and they have half a heart, they can give you the credits. If they gave a certain someone we
maybe.
know his Beagle Point exploration data back 3 times, I'm
Well,
sure
that's
they
a
can make
little
this
besides-
happen.
That's a little besides the
All
point.
right.
I mean, some of us couldn't even get a refund when we were sold a product that wasn't what that was advertised.
We had to go to our credit card companies like some person we know.
Which goes back to my previous statement. Try about it. I don't know. Maybe it'll help.
Exactly.
It might.
You cry loud enough, it's fine.
How many
All right.
tickets do you have to submit?
That's the lesson
before-
here.
Okay, so
Get with it or cry about it. Those are your
Find
choices.
find Karen. She'll take care of you. Whoa, what happened?
who just
Which is
who just
ding
dropped
at
out of the
us.
thing?
Teflon.
Teflon Doves, Chig,
Nurgle.
Nurgle. Your recording dropped out.
It's okay. I think we're
Nurgle's
using
gone.
OBS now anyway, aren't we?
No, hopefully I won't because the quality won't be as good. So I'll kick back to it as soon as you were unmuted.
Okay, got it.
Is he back?
Yes, he's back.
We'll see. We'll just. He seems to be back.
I was muted for
Nurgle,
like
speak.
literally like 4 minutes, I think, tops.
It's fine. I'll see that chunk. I'll fill
He's
it in.
lighting up in the eCaster like his mic's active, but I'm not hearing shit from him in Discord.
No,
And I
me
think
neither.
that's
I
the
don't-
problem.
I don't hear it. I don't see him lighting up an eCaster. It's all right.
Neither do I.
Nurgle will figure out his thing. Hopefully.
I'm
Okay.
not checking
let
his
me
prostate.
just
But what if
let
he
me
does
just
it,
say. Let me just say. That's the whole thing as I understand it. Those are the important details. I feel like this is a headache because I feel like we're going to be chasing questions about this through Discord for like the next week and a half. And I sort of dreaded it when I saw the announcement. Do you guys think I've explained this sufficiently? Is there anything else we could clarify while we're
I
on
think
this
you
podcast?
over-explained it.
Not unless did they happen to explain why they were stopping this process? Like, what's so convoluted about it that it can't be an ongoing thing?
What are you talking
The
about?
copying of commanders over.
Well, I think because if you're in Legacy and all of a sudden you build up a bunch of credits, then you decide to transfer over, you're outside of Live, and all of a sudden you appear with a bunch of shit. Could be
So here's-
weird. There's
here's
ways
an
to
idea.
game things.
What does that
that way.
matter?
If future
BGS
legacy,
maybe? I have no idea.
Can
if
I
future
answer
legacy
from
assets are
just what they
used?
said? No. Okay. So specifically, what they said is that the introduction of legacy mode, the separation of the galaxies, changes something about the way the console copy, the commander copy system works. So that's why they've had to put it on hold, and that's why it will come back in a different, less comprehensive form. I don't
Does
know
that
what it
include
is,
credits?
but they're saying it's a technical thing. It's only going to be the quote is the version of the process that we introduce will not be as comprehensive as before and will only copy the most essential profile data related to player progression. So I don't know what that is, but
I think
maybe
it'd be-
it's ranks. I don't know.
So
well, it'd
the
be
wording
things that
does-
affect the Live Galaxy outside of the character themselves. So they can't do a bunch of things that might affect Live when they come over. You know what I'm saying? Because you could, I don't know, stockpile a whole freaking shit ton of like some mineral. Let's say in Legacy, all of a sudden some mineral you can get for 10 credits, and you can sell it in Live for 1 billion credits a piece. You come over and you flood some sector with some crazy thing. You know, I could foresee random, I have no idea, I have no exact example, but I could see anything your character does that affects the galaxy. It might be a lot easier as the galaxy changes going forward to farm something in the previous version and then come forward to the new version.
Well, I mean, it's not as if that could be like a regular thing where you're farming in the old version, then bringing
It literally
to the new
could.
version.
You could buy an account on console for $5, let's say, farm up a bunch of shit that's super cheap in that version, and then transfer that account over.
And then what? You would have to buy more versions of the game.
I'm
and more accounts.
literally saying
That's
though,
insane.
But it's possible that who knows what the galaxy holds in the future.
I say
mean,
we
a
try
lot-
something. we all liquidate all of our commanders on legacy version, transfer all liquid assets to one console commander's account, and then have them do a transfer and see what happens.
No, let's give an example here. No, no. Think about it this way. Let's say Thargoid Hearts. We've talked about Thargoid Hearts. Should be different versions of Thargoid Hearts between, if you get a Cyclops heart, it's worth more. A Hydra heart's worth way more, and the middle is gradated accordingly. Let's say then these things go and they enter something like that in the game. So then you've got new version of the game, you have old version of the game. You go to transfer old version of the game to the new version of the game. How do you handle something like that? It's little things like that could just become a massive fucking headache because the live is going to continue to evolve. Legacy is legacy. They don't want to have to change over time.
I can see how that could be a problem where if you have something that they've changed the coding for in the live version, but it's attached to your account, like some sort of
they
object.
Can't guarantee it will always transfer the same, so they need verbiage like that in there.
It could be like Chig is saying, only actually a lot simpler. Like it could be that something in the code, like they're just recoding what every item is represented by as far as like its memory value or whatever identifies it in the code. Yeah, and it could be that like most of these items or things just won't be attached to the right thing on the other side. Could be simple like that. It could be something, I don't know, there's almost 5 gigabytes worth of stuff we're going to be downloading.
And there's
a lot of things that could be going on in the background that could screw it up.
Between the systems, if they decided in perpetuity you could transfer old accounts exactly as you could now, they'd have to figure out ways that every time they add something new to the game, there's going to be a translation from the old game into the new game. Right. I don't know.
Well, but you're transferring from Legacy, so nothing will ever be added to Legacy. So that's not really an issue.
Things that exist in Legacy could be different going forward.
They could.
But you should already be on live.
See, Dubs
you
is
had
like
the opportunity.
Well,
you should already be here.
Being poor. Buy a gaming computer and the game right now. Some people just can't do that, Dubs. Come on.
Dubs is like, you've had 6 years to get here.
Regardless of whether you have a game computer, you should have already done your transfer by now. If you're hearing my voice and you haven't, copy. If you haven't done your copy, as we said before, there are no consequences. There are only benefits. You really need to do it right now.
Right now.
By the time this runs, I mean, you're going to have like an hour by the time this episode comes out.
If your day listening to this podcast this Friday afternoon, sorry, you're fucked. You're an idiot. My apologies.
In fact, I don't even know if the copies might have already stopped. I'm not sure.
I don't know either. Yeah. You should have jumped. We had Blooming Wind in our Discord.
No, it says they will suspend upon the release of update 14. So you have until the servers go down, maybe until they come back up. So you have a matter of hours. In fact, we better wrap this podcast up so I can get it out to the people.
Yeah. We had a Blooming Wind in our Discord. He's our new BGS expert. Fuck Nurgle because he dropped from the show, so he doesn't matter anymore. But we have like Blooming Wind, he's still on console. He wants to switch to PC. He's been waiting because he wanted to buy a PC sometime in January. But with this news, he did the transfer. He's one of the guys that luckily had 13 or so billion in liquid assets, so it didn't freaking matter that he had to prematurely move. He was hoping to decommission and everything, but he can wait. But literally just copy so that you can move over at your leisure.
Yeah. He made a decision to not cry about it. To do something.
I love you, Dubs.
Is there anything else on this? I think we've done it. If somebody has a question after that, then it's probably a question that we can't answer anyway, right?
I'm seeing a lot of chatter on like social media, like the Reddit and
like
stuff,
the
about where people are preparing for whatever's incoming. I see a lot of end of the world meetups or meetups at the end of the world going on.
Yeah, I'm watching the system chat here right now, and they're all meeting up on this one moon.
And there's a lot of people. There's different places people are meeting up. And it's really neat to see, to kind of get this kind of like end of the world feeling back. So, pie in the sky, what's coming tomorrow, guys?
Yeah,
it better be the Panther Clipper.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Let me just...
Okay.
Can I talk
I'll
about
tell you what.
the new CZs? Well,
hold on. Let's stumble through this a little bit backwards. So we don't. Bard wasn't able to record a news segment. He didn't have time, and with the holiday, and plus he felt that there wasn't really a whole lot of exciting stuff to make jokes about.
can I do a Bard impersonation?
Sure. Are you going to recap Galnet quickly? There's basically been 2 articles.
Sir? What do you want, buddy? Shut up. There's aliens coming towards the galaxy. God, that's boring. Who cares? That's my Bard.
You gave him
Nice.
music.
Yeah, I added music. That was great, huh? Fuck you, Teflon.
So we have another segment, though.
What did I do?
Our Kiwi friend from the future has sent us the exploration report. This is something that he thinks he'll be able to do kind of on a monthly basis or something, and I think he did a pretty great job.
This is from the future?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Here we go.
It's already
Here we
too
go.
late for him to transfer his account.
No, he plays on PC. Don't worry about it.
He already knows what's coming tomorrow because it's already there.
This guy's fun. All right, so let's have an exploration report from the future. Here we go.
Space. It's full of space. And this is the exploration report. The passage to Andromeda expedition is nearing its completion, due to arrive at Star 1 on the 11th of December. Star 1 is the closest star to the Andromeda galaxy that we are able to visit currently. In breaking news, Commander Picard from Mission Farsight is still exploring the galaxy and reports finding more stuff. This month's exploration tip. The best way to find Earth-like worlds and high-value planets is to map systems with F, G, or K stars. Just remember, 4 great kings. This has been your exploration report. Coming to you live from the future.
Oh, fuck, I spoiled
That
it.
was that was beautiful.
Oh man,
I
those
said that it was
at
from the
end.
future. Sorry, Grover.
No, I said it was from the future.
No, I
It's
asked
okay.
if
I
I
think
asked if it was
everybody
from the
knows
future.
that
You
it's from the
verified it was from the
future.
Okay, this is what I
Okay.
have to say about that. I fucking love it. It gives us this like fake British accent added to the show, so we can fit in with the rest of the people.
It's also like nobody on the show here is like avid into the Explorer stuff.
Not as much as he is. For sure.
And we do, like, people comment. It's like, what could we do? Well, you guys never talk about exploration. Yeah, I know. And I feel bad about that, but it's not a game loop that I have been able to keep myself into. And so, yeah. So more power anyway. So we'll look forward to that. It'll be great.
This
So thank you,
reminds
Grover.
me of something. Actually, hold on. Chig, have you found a ringed Earth-like world yet?
Fucking this guy. How do I remove Dubs from Discord? I've tried figuring it out, but he has too many permissions.
Dubs, I want you to find a ringed Earth-like world
And name it
orbiting
Chig.
a ringed Earth-like world. As a
Whoa.
moon.
Come on now.
My brain and the rings
know.
intertwine. Oh. Now, this is what I have to say, though. I cracked some jokes about it. Legitimately, that's good stuff. I love it, Grover. If you can do that, if you could do it weekly, we'd play it. But if you want to do it once a month or once every other week,
Yep.
a good time to do it would be the week that I'm hosting because we need material because I'm boring. So
as
every other
often
week
as
would
you
be
would
great.
do it, we would definitely play it. Thanks very much. So Commander Grover Kiwi, thank you, and
favorite-
look forward to that.
My favorite part was when he said Commander Picard and Mission Foresight is discovering stuff.
Yep.
That's good. No, literally though, I love that Grover did that. He's a very active member of our community. He always lets us know that tomorrow is actually going to arrive because, being from New Zealand, he knows he's a day ahead of us. So that gives us a little bit of comfort. But
The update on
anybody who
Sunday
listens
night.
to the show, you want to send us random recordings? I'll make Dubs pre-listen to them, but I will listen to anything you guys send, and we may throw it on the show. Just
I'll
putting it
listen
out
to
there.
If we start getting a lot of them, then we will have to start exercising some editorial standards. But for right now, we don't get that many, and I think within reason, like, if you're a fairly self-aware person, you probably know whether you're making something that's appropriate and not really bad. So
And
I'm
if
just going to, say that's fine. Let's go ahead. Send us stuff.
And if we don't play it, we're
Send all
not
of it.
saying it's shit. We're implying it's shit.
We're implying people. The things
We're not
that
gonna say
have
it
been
out
sent
loud.
to me, the segments that have been sent to me are always like couched in a bunch of like, hey, I did this. If you want to use it, go ahead. It's no big deal if you don't, and all this stuff. Like, and most of, they've all been great. It's possible somebody could send me something that I can't use for some reason.
That's why I let Dubs listen first.
Yeah, so
I'll listen to
with that caveat. Okay, so next on my list is going to be Thargoid Bug Report, and I'm pretty sure that's what Chig was going to go into anyway. So now I'm trying to find my sign. Here we go. Hey, did you see those wicked sweet pics I took of that Hydra today?
Badass.
They were
That was
pretty
awesome.
nice.
You got
That
out of there
shit was-
without dying.
That shit was
The one with
rad
the
as
star in the
hell.
background? Yeah.
Yeah, I
That was
did. I
it.
did kind of a whole series, but I shared a few. One where she's eclipsing a star, which is pretty great, and
So
another
you're-
one you can get a better view, but try to make her look as big next to the chieftain as she really is.
So
which
you
is
weren't
very
killing
big.
bugs. You decided to go out and just taunt them by taking selfies. I love it.
It was right before the update. I was like,
You can't kill
I'm
me,
just gonna-
bitch.
I went,
How are you so experienced with using camera angles to make things look bigger?
Oh, boy.
I actually just learned today. I'd never really used
Oh,
much
He's
of the
okay.
been
camera
married
suite,
a
but
long time.
It's okay. Well, I mean, the camera suite in the game works just like real cameras in a basic sense. So if you pull back and zoom in, stuff looks bigger. Anyway,
I'm sure
that's
some
it.
of our viewers already know.
Chig, taking notes. Okay, so this last week, for those that didn't know, some fucking hippy dippies thought they'd go out and talk to the Stargoids in a ship called the Kingfisher, and the Stargoid called Tyrannus showed up and killed them. It was awesome. It was good stuff.
They
There's
went
some good
full
videos of it.
Independence Day on that thing.
Yeah, absolutely. They're like, hey, let's do some lights, and they got deaded. Now,
Nobody saw that coming.
yeah, shocking, shocking. I say.
That was my favorite because I follow Psychit on Twitch, and I had the notification on my phone, and it said, "Oh my God, Kingfisher destroyed! No one could have seen that coming." Was the name of the stream notification.
Yeah. So, but what people didn't necessarily see coming is that then that was a point of interest you could drop into to try to get the logs, and Thargoids just drop in one after another, and it's not like normal POIs where you get more interceptors dropping in on the ship itself. You can be 100 kilometers, 200 kilometers out fighting Thargoids, and more Thargoids interceptors keep dropping in wherever you are.
Wherever you are, because it's 2266, whatever the numbers were. I can't even remember that damn system anymore.
22,460.
22460 rules all over again. Hostile Thargoids will drop on you anytime you're in normal space.
No,
right?
but 22.4, it wasn't 22.4, it was 22,692 or something, wasn't it?
No,
it's
it's 22,460.
Was it? Wow. Okay. But even there, they would still drop on the ship if you were fighting them, remember? They'd still...
No. I mean, after the Proteus wave, anytime you're in normal space,
in
they
that
drop
ship.
on you.
Yes.
Because that's what happens. You're the target,
but if
not
you're
the ship.
engaged in it with a Thargoid, you wouldn't have others drop on top of you. You'd...
Well, I didn't engage any Thargoids
Okay.
in that system because all your Guardian stuff melts in that system.
In this system, if you're fighting Thargoids, even in a group, far away from where you first drop into the point of interest, more Thargoids drop on the group, not way back at the ship. So I
Awesome.
think this is testing. I honestly think that they were just testing the mechanic of the new interceptor that's going to call for help. They were testing that to see if they could
okay.
have interceptors drop wherever the fighting was. And
It is.
we were in there one night, and like in an hour and a half, I made like 400 million credits just because it was Medusa. We're just about done with the Medusa. Basilisk drops. Oh my God, another Basilisk drops. Oh my God, a Hydra drops. And it was just one after another. And like that one morning, I hopped in there and I was going to get like morning basilisk, breakfast basilisk, or morning Medusa. And I jump in and I hopped in with the crowd and we're killing a Medusa. I was down to the last heart, killed the heart. And I'm looking around and I see interceptors flying around. Like there was a formation of 3 flying across my sky where it looked like, like System Authority flying, but it was interceptors. And I
System Authority is Thargoids.
Yeah,
now.
I counted 7 interceptors in the instance I was in with about 9 other pilots. It was like, what the fuck? This is crazy. And it just got so bad, I jumped the hell out. And then the next morning I hopped in and I was going to, I wasn't even at the Kingfisher. I was, I don't know, about 20 away. So I wasn't in it, but I was sitting there just in normal space and I was doing some stuff on my carrier, setting up some buy orders. And all of a sudden I get pulled out of the carrier menu. Actually, I just got the noise that something was happening. I was still in the carrier menu. I'm like, what the hell? Leave the carrier menu. And he did his pulse. I interrupted that just in time. And it was a basilisk. I'm like, oh, you sick bitch. You're going to die. And I start to fight him. And then all of a sudden a Hydra drops. And then a Cyclops drops. And then a basilisk drops. And I'm here by myself. And it's like one after another dropping. And then I was determined to try to kill that basilisk. And I ended up getting killed because by the time I was trying to kill that basilisk and dancing around the other swarms and other interceptors, I was so outnumbered, and I could have just bailed when that Hydra dropped in, which I should have done, but I had 2 hearts down on the basilisk. I'm going to get this guy before I run away. No, don't just let a Hydra dance around you that wants to kill you. You're going to die, and it's...
Especially his swarm.
It's fucking scary. It was 4 interceptors by the time I left. It was 2 basilisks, a Cyclop, and a Hydra by the time they finally killed me, and I had gotten 2 more hearts on that basilisk, but then every time one drops, they're doing a pulse, and you've got 4 swarms, and oh my god, it's the most fun I've ever had fighting Thargoids. So much fun.
What you're saying is the Thargoids have learned ganker tactics?
It was almost thick Thargoid gangbang tactics. I'm telling you, it was
oh shit!
It was scary. Brazers,
thick Thargoid booty.
Yeah, it was kind of scary in there alone. And even like the night before, when it was like, I mean, there were a bunch of pilots in there, but all of a sudden there are interceptors everywhere, swarms everywhere, and it doesn't matter. Like when we were fighting at the Bright Sentinel wreckage, if you pulled away 40 kilometers, you'd get the alert that a new one dropped in, but it's back at the ship. Now they're dropping where you are.
Is that fighting you were doing with AX missiles and stuff?
Me?
You at Bright Sentinel wreckage. So the Bright Sentinel wreckage means that's in 22,460, which means you have no Guardian materials.
Yes. Well, yeah, that was... Actually,
which
that
is a different kind of banana pants.
Yeah, that was a different kind of banana pants because literally they gave you wet noodles to try to fight Thargoids, and they kept dropping them in, but they kept dropping at the ship. They were still dropping at the ship there. Now,
you're going to fight this heavily armored knight. He will get a sword and shield and heavy armor. You will get this pool noodle.
Exactly.
A duel to the death.
But most people didn't continue to fight there. Recently, we were doing where we had scan the ship and everything, and then nothing would drop. The data ports.
And then our broken megaship instances that are so fragile.
So then we'd fly away, but if another interceptor did jump in because we scanned a port, it would come in at the ship instead of right on top of our asses. And that's what it was doing. And even when they were doing, I mean, there was a point where there were a dozen pilots in there, and we're all fighting. And, when a Medusa drops and us a dozen pilots, we can kill that stuff super fast. But then all of a sudden it starts falling a little bit behind, and then soon it gets bad where it's like, we might need to clear the pool just because we can't keep up with how fast they're coming in.
They're getting wise.
Exactly. And it was fun, but I really felt like it was testing that mechanic of the new interceptor will call for help if it's in trouble, because I've never had interceptors dropping on interceptors like that. And it was just...
If that's the case, And what you're saying is we need to get in with that new interceptor and fucking give that shit as fast as possible.
Or make
Maybe.
friends. I'm gonna go with what the Kingfisher said and make friends with them so they don't call them friends.
Yeah,
Sounds
it's proven. It's proven to be a good thing to
proven.
try.
And then I'm gonna
Sounds
invent a
like
Proteus wave thing too. That's a good idea.
Maybe
Insanity.
we should put together a wolf pack.
A wolf pack.
Yes.
Well,
to just go in and give these goids.
You know what? The lies have to stop.
So when this goes off tomorrow, and then it'll be like, gosh, what'll be? I guess it'll be sort of like midday when our time when the servers are planning on coming back online, something like that. I don't know if it's realistic to assume we'll be able to get on, but Tuesday's usually a day that I can play. So if the game's running tomorrow, I'll be there, and whatever's going on, I will bring my anti-Thargoid muscle. I'm not, to add to the force. I'm not saying I can do things by myself that other people can't do, but
I've got my ship.
I
set
mean
up.
business when I turn up. So
I have my Mark II set up with my efficient Thargoid killing, and then I set up my Phantom with plasmas so I can do some anti-ganker stuff as well as Thargoid stuff. So I'm ready. I'm excited.
Yep.
But I don't know how playable it's. This is a big patch, and it sounds like
a
a
big
lot
patch.
of crazy
There's
shit
no
is going
telling.
to happen.
We've had a few patches in the last
Very
year
clean.
that went off very, very clean. Usually there's a little bit of additional bug and some kind of thing that needs patching, but nothing too bad. We haven't had a 3 days off in a couple of years here. So
Where engineering is broken.
Yeah, or literally we couldn't log in. I mean, I remember the first big update after I joined the game was the one where the Phantom and the Mamba and core mining was added. I think only PlayStation could log in for the first week or something like that.
Wow, that's insane.
It was a lot. But anyway, so if it's on, I'll be there and I'll be seeing what's going on. And if the game's not on, then I'm just gonna play something else, and maybe I'll stream and maybe I won't. Maybe I'll play Ancient Dungeon or that kayak. I got that kayak game for VR where you just paddle a kayak around incredibly beautiful places.
That's a game. I like it. Is it a good workout?
It's fantastic. You can race in it and stuff, or you can just drift around. My dogs are barking. I don't know if that's coming through the recording or not, but if it is,
a little
sorry.
bit. It's exciting and new.
Okay, yeah, wife got home. So yeah, anyway, the kayak game is pretty good. It's a testament to how great and realistic landscape environments can look when that's really what you're dedicating yourself to, and it runs great.
Oh, you just sold me on that game. I'm buying that instead of a Steam Deck.
But anyway, if the game's running, I'll be there. And yep, Thargoids are tough. I'm pretty tough too, but it sure does get hairy when there's a lot of them.
I'm excited for
with as many. There's already a shit ton of fleet carriers in that system. I wonder if they're going to implement the Thargoids dropping on you anywhere you are in normal space thing.
I don't know. I'm in a neighboring system right now.
I'm nowhere near there because my headcanon says that my character's not a fucking moron, and he'll wait and see what happens, then he'll come help.
Oh, mine.
My character wants to see it.
Didn't you see that picture I took?
Yeah.
My carrier is in Calarum. I like to think my headcanon is my character's at Dorkport selling drugs.
Jesus.
Well, that took a turn.
All right. So anyway, we've taken it through.
Well, what do you think is going to happen?
Fluff left.
No, we have no predictions. Though. What do you think is going to happen tomorrow? Let's give some predictions. So when people listen to this show later on, they can be like, "Fucking idiots."
This is a question I asked 30 minutes ago.
The first thing that's going to happen is Chig is going to buy a Steam Deck. Then after that,
in 3307,
I feel like they're not going to do the whole Thargoids just dropping on you in open space randomly, because they're probably going to use that mechanic on the new interceptor style. There is more than likely what's going to happen, and we're going to get to see what this big port style bullshit is.
Big starport bullshit thing is.
Well,
I don't know. It's like a Thargoid starport probably, or a planet. Who knows?
They're saying it's big. I think that I think that
They're saying that it's bigger than human starports.
But-
That's what they've said in Galnet.
but I don't know if that's like a portal. What are they measuring? That's what I don't understand.
They're estimating based on the size and power of its wake or something like that. If you're in universe words terms.
But
I mean,
it
I
could
guess
just-
this is the first Thargoid that we've seen moving in Super Cruise style fashion.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
usually they jump directly into witch space, right? It's assumed that they come from witch space. I
Yeah,
don't
they kind of
know.
exist there.
Whatever this is, like it has an ability to move at faster than light without, like, between systems without jumping.
Yeah.
That's the new thing. So, but it would
But
be.
why?
I don't like making predictions about this because I honestly, like, I don't have any idea what they're thinking, and I'm afraid I'm gonna, like, become disappointed if I work myself up about what I wish it was and it's nothing like that. But I think it would be weird if it didn't involve the on-foot gameplay in some way. And I don't know if that's all going to drop tomorrow. I mean, I think they're obviously they're going to spread a bunch of this out. So, like, whatever happens immediately might not be the whole story, but we agree, right? We're definitely leading in that direction somehow.
They're gonna
think this thing
introduce-
has to be something that we can go in and walk around,
Have
right?
we ever
'Cause
gonna add
otherwise,
the
why did we
ability-
do Odyssey?
To get out of your ship seat. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to strap a Mamba thruster to a hauler, put a sharp, pointy armored nose on it, crash land into the cockpit of whatever this fucking thing is. And then just get out.
Synthesize an AX killing canopy and launch yourself forward. Literally, though, I mean, think about what do we know about this patch?
It
Does
has
anyone-
a lot of gigabytes.
Well, it's rather big, but we've been told that there's a new interceptor type that calls for help if it's in trouble. What else do we know?
but-
I mean, enlighten me.
Kinda
What
like a
else
Giger.
do we know?
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing. We know nothing. 5
So
gigabytes
supposedly-
of.
We know the
Those are-
name of it.
So supposedly Raxla confirmed.
You think we know the name of it, Dubs,
Well,
but
we
just
know what
because
the
you've
code
seen
name is right now. Okay, we know the current placeholder code name.
This-
which may or
Oh,
may not
that's
this-
for the
be.
signal source. That's
This
that's not what I
particular
thought you were talking
signal
about.
source, Tyrannus, which is like some crazy god that kills everything or something, isn't it? I don't know.
Well, no, I'm talking about like the people who dug through the crash dump to find out like the resource that failed to load and what it was called.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that we go to those crash dumps. Who the fuck knows? We were supposed to have
that's
base building
nothing.
if we go by that stuff.
Yeah,
I
the
mean, we
ships
know
all
that
have
there's an
different
asset
names
that's
if you
supposed to load. An
the
asset that
ships all
doesn't
have
exist
different
in the
names
game.
if you use that stuff. It's really not worth talking about till it shows up in game. In my opinion.
I mean, look at the fact that last night, this is where I'm scared about the whole netcode update stuff, because last night, Jameson Memorial was the center of an AXCZ, where a whole bunch of shit and scouts were flying around. Somebody dumped a mega ship in there, which
It was an Imperial battleship.
which was very
what are those
obviously
called?
when I dropped in.
Majestic
Inquis-
Interjector.
Yep.
Majestic class, yeah.
When I dropped in to Jameson last night to take a look at this, I was cautiously all of a sudden, Jameson is under attack. Holy fuck, are you serious? I went to take a look. Right, jumped in. That interdictor was moving across the sky like it was strobing. It was moving like 500 meters at a time, strobing across the sky on the other side of Jameson Memorial from him. Like, yeah, somebody's
boy.
hacking. Somebody was doing something that this was not supposed to be in the game. And as I say, if you log into solo, if none of that is there, it's obviously part of the net code, because that peer-to-peer code disappears if you're logged into solo. And that's what, AXI last night, they were ahead of it right away. Like, this is totally hacking because you log into solo. None of this is there. This is not put in here by FDev. And that's sad that this shit still happens in this game. I'm glad that it's not as prevalent as it might be, but anytime you get killed by somebody faster than you think you should, your brain instantly goes, I'm too good for this. I'm being hacked. And it bothers me. So I hope they fix some of the peer-to-peer stuff, but it is what it is, right?
So I have two.
Maybe.
I have two things for Tyrannus. Is it spelled Tyrannus A-N-N-U-S?
No, it's Taranis. Tyrannus, not Tyrannus.
Like a tarantula.
Okay.
Yeah, tarantula rather than
the root is
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
tarantula,
Yeah.
Let me try
because it's something with like 8 limbs.
Tyrannus.
And where did this name come from? I thought it was like when I first started seeing a lot of this. Well, at first it was Canon was naming each one of these, so I'm not sure that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. At first, they started naming the anomalies, and then I lost track.
I thought they were just giving them numbers. I didn't realize they were using words. But
I wasn't paying enough attention.
What was that spelling one more time?
Taranis, I believe.
Okay. In Celtic mythology, that is the god of thunder.
Oh, great. Thor's showing up. Jesus Christ.
He was worshipped primarily in Gaul, Hispania, Britain, and Ireland. Tyrannus, along with use, was mentioned by Roman poet Lucan in his epic poem Pharsalia as a Celtic deity to whom human sacrificial offerings were made. Tyrannus was associated with the Cyclops Brontes, thunder, in Greek mythology with the wheel.
The wheel. Oh, they're reinventing the wheel.
Wasn't there a Galnet article where they were abducting people?
That's been happening frequently, yes. Yeah. Multiples. When Bright Sentinel went down, they were scooping escape pods, and when Greenpeace, no, Kingfisher. Whatever.
Greenpeace. Isn't it fun that I knew what he meant?
I know, right? Obviously. Endor.
So is this going to be an interceptor you don't want to face tank?
No, I think that
the lightning
escape pods it's just part of what they've been doing for a long time, really.
Yeah. They've always scooped up escape pods, and when you come upon them and they've got a wreck there.
They got to eat something.
Entian Dorn's a Thargoid. I solved the mystery.
So that's what they look like.
Yep. They look like him. King nerd.
All right. Other uses for this word Tyrannus, other than the Celtic god of thunder, there was looks like an unmanned combat aerial vehicle in Britain called Tyrannus. It's a genus of sea snail.
Sea snail?
There is an asteroid that is named Tyrannus. Tyrannus was the name of a satellite mission for the study of upper atmospheric lightning phenomena, but it failed to reach orbit in 2020.
Inauspicious.
Sometimes.
We are digging deep for meaning right now.
Yeah.
And there's a crater on Jupiter's moon Io that is called Tyrannus Patera.
But keep in mind...
What the fuck is naming craters on moons?
Guys, keep in mind, if we're digging for meaning, the command module for Apollo 13 was Odyssey. And it was a complete fucking disaster and came back for great triumph. So maybe that's what we're dealing with right here. This is going to be
How
amazing.
long have you been thinking that one up?
I think I need to drink more.
Also, if you want to make vague Raxla connections for that kind of conspiracy stuff, there is on the Wikipedia page for Tyrannus, the god of thunder, there's a statue of him holding a thunderbolt, but in his other hand, he's holding like a great wheel.
I was really hoping you would say he was holding a butthole, but
no. But he is wearing he does appear to be wearing like a thong.
Cloaca.
Okay.
Bird butthole.
We're running long. That's
what she said.
Nice.
It's just the camera angle.
Yeah, you taught us everything we know.
All right, Chig chat. Do you want to Chig chat anything today?
Hold on.
Play a sound if you do. Play a sound if you don't.
Play a sound, and I'll see. I'll come up with something.
Me play a sound?
Yeah, you play a sound.
Right.
You'll think about it while the sound's playing.
Dealer's choice.
It's Chig chat. Yeah, that's a fact. It's Chig chat. Where the cheese at?
Right on. There wasn't a whole lot this week in Chig Chat. I don't know. The dude who bought frickin' 40 pounds of Parmesan because somebody mislabeled it at the grocery store, that was epic. I would totally do that, and I loved the dude's like, hun, I made an executive decision.
That was
Love
pretty
it.
awesome.
Yeah, that
Congratulations!
thank you, Rabbi Bob, for putting that. I don't know why Boobtron has his dog licking a yam, but it is funny. Lark Shadow, whatever he has going on. Dog pics. Send me more dog pics.
Sorry, Lark Shadow, whatever he has going on.
Well, do you see? Go to Chig Chat. Look at the one thing he posted.
I know.
It's hilarious. It's funny, and that is completely Lark Shadow. That looks
And that's the end of it.
Looks like an Asp Scout, right? That's pretty much what you would be doing fighting a Thargoid in an Asp Scout. And then I see Tom Wick has made an appearance, and yeah, god damn it. That's all we got. Not a whole lot this week. But
Right.
all I have to say,
I think Lark Shadow's onto something, guys.
He's always on something. What this is what I have to say
something.
though. Please show up for CQC and you can get a flea carrier.
Are you gonna buy me something?
What's the cheese this week?
So the cheese this week is Kiri. It's a processed cheese crafted specially for children by the Bell Group. It's the world's 12th best-selling cheese brand. It caters to consumers around the globe, particularly in the Middle East, France, and Japan. Though I was looking up cheese in Japan, and that's how I found it. It was designed to be part
Bell Group. Is that like the Baby Bell then?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, perfect.
It's designed to be part of children's meals because of the vitamins and the calcium. It's a creamy kind of cheese.
It's like a spreading cheese.
Yeah, it's mild, creamy, and sweet. So that's why they figured children would like it, I assume. They said it tastes best on bread, in lunch bags, and at breakfast time is what they say. So
love them.
I didn't have a picture for it, so I don't know exactly what it looks like other than the description there. So
now, this is all I have to say. I absolutely love the fact that the cheese of the week since I joined the show when it first happened was like, what the fuck is going on? To now it's actually been moved to somebody else who finds a cheese each week. And I my pride swells. I see that movie anniversaries, there are none. That's because last week you went with Treasure Planet. That has ended movie anniversaries forever. Because who the fuck?
So one segment gets a new life and becomes immortal and it will be passed on from presenter to presenter, while another segment is unceremoniously assassinated by a very terrible conversation that you guys had last week.
Amen,
I don't
brother.
understand what your beef is with Treasure Planet.
I don't either. It's really not a bad movie. Like it's good. It's I've
fine.
seen much worse.
And I agree with you. Like I like Titan 80
You guys are
more.
Right.
They're proving the point right now that this is why it's dead.
The thing I said a minute ago about how this segment's dead now because of that awful conversation, you're right. That definitely was an invitation to talk about it some more.
If you want to see a truly bad movie, Chig, you should watch Shark Side of the Moon.
You should watch Shark.
Can we end on that, please?
Shark Side of My Moon.
You know what? Since there's no movie anniversaries, let's just name some really bad fucking movies. I'm gonna go with Space Truckers.
Episode 8. Last Jedi wins. I'm done. Mic drop.
Space Truckers from the 1980s. Have any of you ever seen that?
We're closing this episode down.
Dude has like a
Wait, there's one piece of unfinished business.
Yeah, all we need to do is find out, did Chig buy that Stream Deck?
I did not.
Okay, you've got until I finish this. You got until I finish this little read. Thank you for listening to our. He's going to do it in robot voice, and then
I'm gonna do
if
robot
you haven't
voice.
bought it by then you really haven't bought it.
Okay.
All right, are you ready? Oh wait, that's the wrong voice. Hold on.
Definitely ready.
This is grade A work, everybody.
Thank you for listening. If you like the show,
whoa, that's
please
not
wait.
robot. Yeah, you sound normal.
No. What happened?
We
don't know. If you have the same mic going to us as you have going to the recording, then you don't sound like a robot.
What? No. You all right? You do it. Yeah, I'm not
Pay
gonna.
you
I'm
too
not gonna
much
fight
for
with
this.
now.
All right. Listen, everybody, I guess you've already been listening. If you've been listening, then it means you probably don't hate us. So you should write a review on your podcast app. It'll be a good idea.
That's not true.
And if you want to go to...
They probably hate me.
Well, all right. Anyway, you can come to the Discord where you can give Dubs all of the hateful criticism for this episode. You can find that at discord.io/loosescrews. And if you check out the merch store at loosescrewsed.com, you'll find mugs, t-shirts, hoodies, and more, including the brand new designs that we got celebrating our win in the AX tournament. They're really cool. We got zip hoodies that are very classy and mugs. And thanks to Commander Rabbi Bob for that design.
Wait. Zip hoodies are classy?
Yeah, it's classy because like the graphic on it's like a small like medallion. It's very classy.
It's still a
Shut
zip
up,
hoodie.
like, as if you don't learn what classy is from me every damn week.
Truth.
If you want to support the show, you'll find us on Patreon at patreon.com/loosescrewsed, and you help us pay for the software that we use to record the show in very, very high quality. And then, of course, we don't say anything high quality into that high quality recording, so I guess it's all comes out in the wash. But
quit saying high quality.
Leftover funds do not go in our pockets. They all go back to the community one way or the other.
I think I figured it out.
Oh, shit.
That's not the right voice, by the way.
What?
You sound like a balloon.
Whoops, sorry. I think I figured it. I got it figured out, apparently.
Well, I guess we can use it next week, or do you want to try this again?
No, it's okay. He already did it. I'm sure Trax doesn't want to go any longer.
All right. Well, remember to send me your hate mail. I will share it with the rest of the crew and laugh at you about your feelings.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening and thanks for hanging out with me tonight. Sorry that Nurgle lost his internet partway through, but he was here, and also Chig, Dubs, and Teflon joined me. Thank you all very much.
Wait, one more thing.
Okay.
Bye.
A Steam Deck.
A Steam Deck. Damn it.
Successful. Engines disengaged.